to climb.
Hey, welcome to another episode of Condition for Success, Mindset of a Millionaire. We're here with executive consultant of Ambit Energy, Jeremy Hennessy, or we know him as Jeremy Show Me the Money Hennessy, awarded the Crystal Sphere Award from Ambit, or at the Pure Energy Award. Accolades go on and on, but just want to welcome you and thank you for taking the time to meet with us today.
Thank you, Mark, for having me. Glad you invited me to be one of the guests. Been looking forward to it all week. So I'm excited and just definitely share some valuable insight, maybe get some from you as well.
Thank you. So let's dive into little things. Like I know you're big on like going to the gym and conditioning yourself physically. Right? What do you do on a weekly basis or daily basis to condition your mind for the success level that you've built?
Man, great question. And that's definitely a great, I guess, a comparison, conditioning your body. You definitely got to condition your mind. And one thing that I picked up while doing this business was self-development. That's something that's very powerful. And I've done it before, but not intentionally. And, we have a great, motivation speakers that's out there you listen to every so often, but purposely, I really locked in on listening to it every morning, every day to start my day and set the tone for my day because it definitely helps. And that's something that's been a trend. And not only does it help me, it helps me be more valuable or more of an impact with other people. And if it impacted me in a positive way, I would share that clip or share the picture to someone else that morning. Hopefully, it can definitely set a trend that starts, and someone will have picked that trend up too. So it's definitely something that can be shared along the way.
Was that something you've always been doing or like, going because you've been in the business now about 10 years or well, 8, 9 years now? Is
Yeah,
when you first started, were you doing the personal development back then or not so much?
it's been 8 years, and when I first started, no. However, my sponsor, Julia, she would send me little clips every so often, and I click on them here and there, click on them here and there. But when I got really serious about really making a difference, I started looking at not only just getting the ones that were sent to me, but going out there purposely finding more of it. Once you get that thirst and that hunger, then now it's you don't have to be something you got to spoon feed. It's kind of like a child, you got to start babies by spoon feeding them, giving them the food, making them take it. They probably fight you to death about it, but it's something that they need, they just don't know it yet. When you grow up and you get hungry, then you're gonna be looking for it, you're gonna be asking for it and going out your way to find it. So yes, that's something I definitely started locking into as I progressed along in the company and the business.
Now, for those that know your story, I know it was always like when you first started in the business, everyone talks about how that, you were a little bit more for the business, wife wasn't so much at that time. So how is it that how did you combat the like a little bit lack of support that you might have been expecting?
Right. And that's a good point. And the key word in there, lack of support. I mean, we all have experienced lack of support on both sides, family, friends, neighbors, or whatever. And but you gotta understand your situation where we was at. We was at the time. We needed to make a transition. We needed to move. And of course, us being married, we share everything to each other. So when I brought it to her, it wasn't an excitement like mine was. I took the initiative to really launch out and start it. I mean, what's going to be the worst thing that comes out if you don't at least try? And some people just don't know how bad they need something until it really hurts. I like this story that you probably heard and many others share. Sometimes problems is not painful enough to us to move. It's kind of like the what they say, the dog that was sitting on the nail, and he just holler all day long. Or he just holler all day long. And he said, what's wrong with him? Well, he's sitting on the nail. Well, it don't hurt him enough to get up and move yet. And that's how some people are. Their pain is not hurting them enough to get up and move yet. But when it's hurting enough, and you want to feel something different, you will get up and move. And that's what we
Yeah.
did. And her, far as the support was, she didn't necessarily jump on board in the beginning, and that's okay. And it was something that God moved in my heart and my mind to do, and I did it. And if it was successful, I know that she'll come on board eventually. and helped me in that capacity. But I wanted to make it intentional. So she's my first person to win over. And, it wasn't necessarily an easy win, but at least I had to prove a point. And once this started falling into places and we saw the vision, that's when things start really lining up and being on one accord.
What would you recommend to people or advise people, whether they're starting in an ambit business or just their own business and they're facing that it's just them, they don't really have too much support? Like, what encouragement or advice would you give to them to help them like get through those hurdles?
Yes. And that's a great question. I'm glad you asked because different things may work for different people. However, it is somewhere we all have similarities where support was a challenge in our lives at some point. But you just got to find that inner voice. I don't know what it is that makes you tick or what makes you move, but I would encourage them to keep your dreams alive, wherever your goals and dreams are. It's amazing that when we was young, all of us, we say, I want to live in this kind of house, drive this kind of car, have this type of job or thing. We say all the stuff we desire and want as a kid. But then when we get grown in life and older in life, it seems like those dreams just dwindle. And we don't even say, I want to have this anymore because we face the reality. Well, some people giving up on their hopes and dreams and they made a life settlement. They say, I'm going to settle for less than what I really can get. So I would tell them, don't settle because when you settle, you giving up. And life is not about giving up, but keep pushing forward. And great things come with challenges. Anything that's great doesn't come with some blood, sweat, and tears sometimes. And you just got to get it. And like I always say, how bad do you want it? Yeah,
As I know I have a quote that I hope will be profound amongst the stars one day, where it's just, be grateful for all that you have, but never settle for less than all that you dream.
nice.
As
Love it.
well, I said it one time while driving in a car, and people are like, "Oh, I got to write that down." I'm like, "Whoa, wait! If you got to write it down, then I got to write it down. Because if whatever I just said that I didn't think about, you were writing down, that means I got to."
Yeah, exactly.
Now, I'm glad you brought up though, as far as the childhood dreams. I want to rewind a little bit to that of when what did 5, 6 year old little Jeremy want? Like, what was it? What were your aspirational dreams when you were like 5, 6 years old?
Oh man, 5, 6 years old. I want to go to McDonald's every day. We always had that. But I mean, I grew up in a nice home, loving home, family together. I had both parents. What a blessing that was. But life as a young boy growing up, I saw the world as, a lot of opportunities for me. And me being the youngest in my particular family, I didn't take myself being um, what you call it, the baby of the family. Everybody got to do something. No, I want to be independent. I want to learn my way. I want to grow, and that's one thing that kept my drive going. And I love action movies. I mean, the action movies from the '80s and '90s and things. I was a big on action, and I love the risk factor. I love the thrills. Even to this day, it's part of my life. I've amusement parks, roller coasters, even rode motorcycles, skydive. I was a thrill seeker, and I liked that, and I saw that. So I didn't look at life as limitations. I look at life as opportunities, even as a young age. And obviously, those little seeds you plant along the way, it kind of grow and flourish to see what you become as an adult and as a person and as a man. So that's how I was. I played outside a lot. I mean, hey, I didn't have the internet. We didn't have cell phones. So there was a lot of stuff that I experimented outside and things that we did with friends and things. It was just a great lifestyle that I had or mindset because I wanted to try things and experiment and do things at that age. And it just grew and grew and grew.
Remind me, we got to go to Six Flags sometime. It was like see who screams louder, but on
Yeah.
the roller coasters. But going into that adulthood, then it's like so you're turning 16, 17, 18 years old, right? You're becoming the adult. What's the mission or drive at that point, right? Like you had your childhood dreams, now you're becoming an adult. You're finally becoming the like I'm my own man now. Is it job world? Is it entrepreneurial world? Is it college?
You're right. And I did. pretty much after graduating high school, went to college for a while, started working obviously and things of that nature. And now I'm trying to figure life out and still trying to figure out to certain extents. Ain't we all? And nobody has it all figured out and on an even keel. However, I definitely had goals and dreams early out of school. I wanted to still have that vision of me having a family, having a house, on and this. But sometimes God will show us the promise, but He never shows us the path. And I didn't know what path I would get to the promise that He made me. And sometimes the path is not revealed because if we knew all the things that we have to go through to get to this promise or get to that goal, some of us would have gave up and wouldn't even try to attempt to go. So I'm glad God covered the path because I went through a lot of ups and downs in life. It wasn't worse life, but it was things, that I could have prevented by bad decisions, things I could have took the initiative and maybe got started more effective in life. But everything happens for a reason and purpose, and always about timing. So as I progressed through life and found what I was good at. That's the key thing. You got to find what you're good at early. If it's something you're good at communication, you're good at technology, you're good at whatever it is you're good at with your hands, find out what you're good with early and see how you can make a living with that. And that's something that my dad always shared with me. Find something you're good with your hands or something you can communicate because you can train others and teach others along the way. A little bit about my background was I was a musician in church, so I play instruments, and that's a great demand for in that world. If you're a musician of any kind, you can definitely make a living or a little side gig playing music at churches or wherever in your field or arena. So that's something that I had going for me, and also I love computers and technology, so I tinker with those things. Didn't master it, but at least I knew something about building the computer and putting them together. So I knew this was all building up to something that I would eventually evolve into be. Now, speaking in front of people, I wasn't so big on that. I did it, but I wasn't so big on speaking in front of people. But it's one of those talents that people evolve into and develop over time. And you can always develop something if you want it bad enough.
So I look at one end as like, so you don't have to have life all figured out by the time you're 20 or 30 or 40. Yeah.
Yeah, you don't. And sometimes my mom said once life changes without notice. You can have it figured out, but when disasters strike or hardships come, what you gonna do then? So life can change without notice. We're here talking, doing a great podcast and things of that nature. Whatever going on in our lives is going on. But what if something tragically happened? We're not prepared for it. And those that's watching us, you could be here today and gone today. So you just never know what happens. So that's one thing about life. It just can always change without notice.
Now, I look at your experience as, in musician is do you feel that, learning to play instruments and everything helped you to create a discipline that allowed you to then later build the success that you have now, or even having the discipline to consistently go to the gym?
Absolutely. And that's something I don't never share or post a lot about it. As a matter of fact, I've been playing music since I was 10, 11 years old. So that's when I started learning and took lessons. But yes, it is a discipline. And some people quit and some people give up. But think about me, I wasn't trying to be the best musician in the whole world. I just wanted to learn the skill. I love the melodies. It's like color, it's like art. It is art. And my music teacher would tell me when I'm learning the song and reading the music, I had a point where I would mess up in the song. We all have a point of something we do, we mess up, and I would stop and be a big pause, and then I'll start all over. And she said, "You know what, Jeremy? Your problem is you're stopping when you mess up." I said, "Don't stop. Play through the mistake. Sometimes people never know you messed up until you stop, and that's how you know that's a problem. So you can play through it." And I was like, "You know what? That's sure right." So when I play the song, when I get to a part I'm not familiar with or is uncomfortable to hit that chord, and if I did mess up, guess what? I keep on going. I keep on going. And some people will never know if you messed up or not because you did not stop. And that's one thing that really taught me is don't quit because people don't know if you're struggling. People just don't know if you're barely making it. Because I mean, hey, we all look like we got it going on the outside, but you never know what's going on behind the curtains. We're barely holding on, but we're holding on by the grace of God and staying strong.
Yeah, they talk about that in art class as well. That when you're drawing or painting, that if you make a mistake, go with it because if you made that mistake, then that means now that's a part of your art. Don't erase it. That's what they don't want us using erasers. They want us going with it. And I see that with so music art, drawing art, art of life is when you guys make mistakes, just keep going through it because it's through mistakes that we learn and progress. And
Absolutely. Absolutely.
did want to dive into a little bit. So you mentioned like we never know what's going on in the in the inside. That everybody's always facing some type of hardship or in their whether it's physically, mentally, emotionally. So on a day that you're facing, like you wake up, I know you go to the gym all the time, but let's say you wake up tomorrow and you're just feeling, I'm tired, I'm sore, I don't want to get up, I don't want to go to the gym, I don't want to do nothing. How do you get over, like, how do you help yourself get through those days?
It's funny that you asked that. I ran across the old post recently, and like we share our gym stories. I shared this, and what it was on some of those days, I feel like I don't want to get out, don't want to go. Sometimes you're definitely right, and it overtakes you, and you do stay in. And I'm not saying I've never done that, but I force myself and push myself to go. Number one is I prepare the night before. If I know I have a hard time getting up and it might be a challenge for me, I actually prepared the night before. What I did, I would lay out my gym clothes next to my bed on the floor: shirt, shorts, socks, shoes. So when I get out of bed, it's laying right there. All I gotta do is make the effort, put it on, and once I put the clothes on, that's pretty much ready. I'm finna push myself out the door. I drag myself out, but at that time, and people just don't realize that, hey, life is right there at your fingertips. You just got to take the effort and initiative to pick it up and run with it and go with it. Even though you probably don't feel like it, but we don't get success based on feelings. We get success based on discipline.
I'm liking that. It's like it's not get success not based on feelings, but based on discipline. So it's always
Yeah,
the discipline trumps feelings, or it's just
absolutely.
I,
Absolutely. If I said I don't feel like it, well, shoot, I'm pretty sure Mike Jordan didn't feel like playing a lot of practices either. I'm sure Kobe Bryant didn't feel like putting up 1,000 shots a day either. But it's just not about the feeling; it's the discipline behind it and that mindset, having that mindset to do it.
I remember a thing that said a video I watched that said 4 words to determine your success or to create your success is just do it anyways. It's like whatever it is, just do it anyways. Whenever you're feeling down, just do it anyways. It's like, I know you're wearing. Like I mean, I know not to give too much of the logos and stuff, but like even I actually have it on my glasses that they make,
Nice. Oh, nice.
and, and it's in orange. So,
Yes. Let's
um,
do it.
so I look at like when you have these, objections from people though, like, and you're telling them just do it. What's the biggest objection that they give to you of that negative energy that they try to toss back at you?
It's kind of the same one that I had initially at first. Maybe time. A lot of people have the time, and that's true. A lot of people is stressed for time, strapped for time, and who actually have just a whole bunch of time on their hands, other than young folks. But you definitely right. Time is one of them, or maybe uh, they say, I don't know nobody. I get that. People say that a lot, or I just don't have the money, like we said earlier before. It's one of those things: time, money, or network. And I said, well, geez, I mean, who you talk to every day? How you live your life? I mean, you mean you have no time for yourself at all? So, I mean, those are kind of objections that you run into, but you boil down to it, if you take a deep dive in it, what really holds them back is maybe lack of discipline or the fear. Some people are scared of both ways. Some people are scared of failure, but then some people are scared of success. And I had to really wrap my mind about it in this business. Some people are really scared of success because they don't know what they'd do if they had it and how would they handle it. And would that be an overcome of their life and be a downfall because they had success? People overanalyze a lot of stuff and they get stuck.
I hear a lot of Les Brown in you because from the dog story and then even the fear of failure and success. So I'm like I follow Les Brown, so I hear some of the things in there, and that's one of the things I
Oh
always
man, Les Brown all day long. Yeah, he was one of the first that really shared a lot of his videos, and still to this day is a lot of great inspiration, and that fed my my business mindset, and started developing things in myself that I did not know I had. Like, we all can see that, hey, you're more than what you think you are. You can handle more than you think you are. Because, like I say, and I stole it from him, and he says it all the time, you have something special. You have greatness inside of you. And that's so true.
I was just thinking to mention in that one. Another favorite of mine is what reminded me is when you were talking about people's feelings is that uh he finds that a lot of people don't aim too high and miss, but they aim too low and hit. And
Yeah.
it's like I feel when going back to those childhood aspirations of yours, or or childhood aspirations of anyone. How
Mm.
many of us that when we're 5, 6, 7 years old, we're like, I'm gonna be president, I'm gonna be a firefighter, I'm gonna be this, and that. And then somebody at some point, or even if it's ourselves at teenage years, or maybe a little after that, tells us, "Oh, you're no good, or you won't be anything." And then all of a sudden, it's like, I guess you're right. I won't amount to nothing. It's like,
Yep. They took a life settlement and they just settled for less than what they could have got.
yeah. So for the with the new year and things, it's like, what are some ways to get unstuck, right? Because I mean, this is a time of year that everybody, I know when you're going to the gym, right, over the next month or so, there's going to be tons more people there, right? Because they always have that New Year's resolution of, I got to get into
Woo!
shape.
Yes.
Now, we know we talk about discipline, but I think it was Denzel Washington that had the quote that's like, commitment will get you started, consistency will get you there. So, how can people create that consistency? So, like, from when you first started going to the gym, you knew you were committed to getting better in shape, but how did you consistently like? It's one thing to talk about discipline. It's another thing of, okay, that's great. I know I need it, but how do I create it?
Mhm. Yeah. And you're definitely right. What fuels your fire? And everybody got a different fuel. And but to get fuel, you got to show up to the gas station, or you got to show up. Main point, and that's one key thing about it, is showing up. I say this a lot and train on a lot, speak it a lot. Is showing up is just half the battle right there, and that's what we'll say to each other in the gym. Like, some friends of mine is we probably have a late start, but hey, at least I made it in, and a little workout is better than no workout, right? So it's just about showing up. I may have to just get in, do a quick one, and get out. But hey, just showing up. Sometimes you never know, that one day you show up, or that one time you do show up, makes a world of difference. You never know what that one day or that one time does for you. Even if it is a quick little 15 or 20-minute workout, that can definitely set a whole pace for your day. Imagine if you didn't show up. You know what it's going to be like if you didn't show up. But guess what? Every time I put forth the effort, show up, you never know how productive that can be for you or for somebody else. Sometimes you think you're showing up for yourself, but you could be showing up for somebody else that need to see you, that need to speak to you, see your face, or hear that encouraging word that you share with them in passing. And that's why you showed up that day, for that person. So sometimes showing up, it could be for yourself or even for others without you even knowing it.
So you're saying if I wanted to wake up at 10 a.m. and be at the gym by, say 10:30, and all of a sudden I realize I'm waking up at, 10:40, that I should still just push my way and get to the gym anyway, even if it's only going to be now 10 minutes before whatever else I had planned in the day.
I actually have done that literally, and that definitely not a fun feeling. I overslept, or I didn't get out as soon as the time. But guess what? I'm gonna make the best effort with the time I got. And that's one key thing that we never can get back, is time. I may not have gotten there at the time I wanted to, but I'm at least going to make up for it and get there and do what I can. And you'd be surprised, those short workouts, when you focus and have a game plan strategy, you can get in and get out. And that's another thing that people may be intimidated or not able to do, is focus and get a plan strategy in place. And once you know what you're going to do or need to do, you get in there and hit it. And you got to have a plan strategy. So you got to show up, ask questions, talk to people. I didn't know anything about working out as a kid and growing up, seeing videos, magazines. But when you start asking questions and talking to people, educating yourself about certain things, you definitely have, you develop a sense of what works for you. and what best suits your program for yourself. And you start follow some people on social media that had great programs just by talking to people and sharing information, discovering new things, because that's why we get out and network and talk to people and we learn stuff. I showing up in the gym, I talk to people after so long, and they say something to you. Man, that worked for him. Let me try that. That worked for her. Let me try that. What supplement you trying? Let me try that. And then you compile what works for you. And over consistency and being focused and showing up, you develop a nice program that you can apply to your life.
I figure we can sum up with life a little bit of like, we don't know how much time we have here, so make the most of it. And I definitely see you doing that with between building a massive organization in your business, going to the gym all the time, and personal development. I'm like, I know a lot of people say you got it all figured out, but I know there's still the struggles you face.
Yeah, man. And it's true. It's we all trying to get ahead. Even billionaires, millionaires, people that's at the top, you see them at the top, they're still trying to get ahead and leave a legacy for other people and make ways for others. That's what it's really all about. Once you make it or you at a certain level, it's not about you getting on, but how many people you can also help get on to something moving in life. So yeah, we all are definitely pushing forward. And I heard one of the ambit leaders years ago say, ambit may not be what I do for the rest of my life, but it will finance the rest of my life. And that's one key thing that we definitely can plant a seed and do for others.
So I appreciate you taking the time and coming out. I know we got a couple minutes to wrap up on things. So I'm going to say is catch us next time on Mindset of a Millionaire, but I'm going to leave the closing out to your quote because we all know it. But as you say, as you finish every one of your videos, if
Yeah.
you'll close that out for us.
Hey, my name is Jeremy Hennessy, and I see you at the top because it's about that's always overcrowded. Peace.
Love it. Thank you.
Start the clock, the race is on. Every moment builds a dawn. Push the edge, reach the sky. Don't ask how, just ask why. Condition for success, we rise. Feet on the ground, eyes on the prize. Every heartbeat says it